Well, let's take a minute and go over how to add fractions. So here we have two fractions, and when you add fractions or subtract, you need to first establish a common denominator. Well, when you look at 24 and 18, what is the lowest common denominator? Well, the lowest common denominator is the least common multiple of the two. But here's how you find it. Never fail method for finding it. You write down each denominator, and 18. Then you write down the prime factorization of each denominator. Well, let's see. And this is 8 times 3, and this is 9 times 2. Well, 8 is not a prime number. You know, a prime number is any number that's only divisible by itself in 1. But that equals 2 cubed times 3. And this equals, 9 is not primes, but 3 squared times 2. And 3 is prime, 2 is prime, 2 is prime. So now, the least common denominator, or the least common multiple of these two numbers is, and you write down each base. Well, there's only two bases, 2 and 3. See, this is the base, that's the exponent. Now, what's the largest exponent on 2? It's 3, so we'll put a 3 there. What's the largest exponent that occurs on 3? It's a 2, so we'll put a 2 there. And that's going to be 8 times 9, which is 72. So the least common multiple, or the least common denominator of these two numbers, is 72. So now, we've got 24 is the same as 2 cubed times 3. And we've got a 5 upstairs, plus, and 7 over, and 3 squared times 9. Or times 2, I beg your pardon. So look, here's our least common multiple. What's missing here? Well, I've got a 2 cubed, but I don't have a 3 squared. So this is extremely important. The only thing you can do is, without violating that equal sign, is multiply a fraction times 1. But 1 in the form of your choice that gives you that common denominator. So we need one more factor of 3, so I'll multiply by 1 in the form of 3 over 3. Now here we've got a 3 squared and 2 to the first power. We need a 2 cubed, so we need to multiply by 2 squared over 2 squared. That's 4, but I'll write it as 2 squared and 2 squared. Just hopefully I make a point here. And when you add the exponents on 2, 1 is the understood exponent here, plus 2 is 3. Hey, we've got it. And let's just check it out. That's 2 times 4 is 8 times 9 is 72. And again, 8 times 9 is 72. So now, there's our 72. We don't need to write it in factored form anymore. And 3 times 5 is 15 plus, and this is 7 times, and that's 2 squared, isn't it? That's 7 times 4. And so that's going to be 28. And now we add those up and we get 43 over 72, and nothing's going to divide out. And so we're done. So the takeaway is, how do you find the least common multiple, which is the least common denominator? You write down the denominators, do the prime factorization on each, and find the product of the bases and attach to each base the largest exponent that occurs in any of the factors. And also, then the next trick is multiplying by 1 in the form of your choice, which will give you that least common denominator. And, or excuse me, least common multiple, which is the common denominator. And we're done.